What's your thoughts on the militarization of various police departments?
I know a lot of people, particularly Al Sharpton, who I'm not real fond of, but this dude, they think it's terrible that police officers have taken on an almost militaristic presence in our major cities. It's necessary. I understand the optics. I get it. But we live in a different time now. This isn't the 1930s and 1940s. Many of the criminals have outgunned the police departments for years. The fact that we are under the constant threat of terrorism is another reason police departments should be armed in a quasi-militaristic sense. Because if the cities are under terrorist attack, the police are your first line of defense. Before the troops are sent in, before anything else happens, the police are always the first line of defense. We better be armed. Now, this is not to say that we need to go about our daily jobs dressed like military police. But we have to be trained, we have to be prepared, and there is nothing wrong with having these assets available to the police department. It's how they're deployed is the reason I think a lot of people get agitated. They need to understand that. We live in a different time.
I mean, like, people, they want to say, they were saying, like, why do police officers need to have, like, fully automatic, like assault rifles and, like,
because some of the people that you may encounter will have them.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why you need it.
I mean, people, people don't just have, like, 6-shot Saturday Night Specials.
You
they
got
have,
it.
Like Uzis that can spray.
Because of the NRA, people can go out and buy whatever they want. There's your problem. Because I know you and I differ on the gun issue. I think I think there are too many guns in our society. I think everybody deserves the right to be armed, to have a gun in their homes. I'm against carry conceal permits. And I know we differ on that, but because
that's
more guns is not the answer for our society.
Okay.
It's just making it less safe to have more guns.
So, like, your thoughts on, like, concealed carry, you're against that? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then also, what about, like, assault rifles, like AR-15s and things like that?
I don't think they're necessary. Now, because, and I know it may sound a little hypocritical, yeah, I want to buy one. I want to buy one because there are no limitations to people owning these types of weapons. So that means I want to buy one because there's other fools out here that may have them. But I would never advocate to buy an AR-15, sling it over my shoulder and walk down the street. I just think that's ludicrous.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's crazy.
I mean, like, you've seen in Akron where there was a guy walking around, like, confidently with, AR-15.
Yeah.
It's like, the thing is, like, yeah, I guess you have that right to do so, but then, like, you just look silly doing it,
Well,
it makes people who are, like reasonable, responsible gun owners, I would say, like, sort of look bad because, when you're, like, it's almost like you're trying to intimidate people.
Sure, and I think they know what they're doing. They're doing it for shock value. They're not really concerned about whether or not they're going to be attacked, because who walks around every day thinking, I got to have an AR-15 because somebody might shoot me.
I mean,
if you're there mentally, then you need to go somewhere else to live, because people don't walk around, or shouldn't walk around, anticipating being shot every day. I mean, it happens.
Yeah. But I mean, in some parts of our country, it's pretty dangerous, and if you have to work in these areas, let's say like concealed carry, wouldn't you want to have the ability to protect yourself?
Well, because most of the time, when you really think about it, most of the time, or most of the victims of shootings, people who die of gunshot wounds, probably 90% or more are shot by someone they know, someone they're familiar with, someone who is come into their life because of their own circumstances. These are people you deal with, people you hang out with, people that have that capacity to shoot people. And those victims know that these people are nuts and have the capacity to shoot people, but they hang out with them anyway.
That's why, you know, I always make sure like the people I'm surrounded by are
Yeah.
all,
And so, but there's the percentage of innocent victims that are being accosted, who are being robbed or being assaulted for other reasons by a stranger. But strangers, percentage-wise, strangers don't always go out and just shoot people. Except for when you have these mass shootings, when you get these crazies that go out and do that. But on a day-to-day basis, shootings that the police encounter like that on a day-to-day basis, the victim and the suspect often have some sort of relationship. So they're not just strangers shooting each other.
all right. And the next question would be,